Good morning, children. This is lecture 2 of chapter Light. In this lecture, we will study about spherical mirrors. Now, spherical mirrors. See, some of the observations are given here. Observation 1. Once image formed on a stainless steel plate is erect and of the same size. Observation 2. Same image formed in the inner surface of a stainless steel spoon is inverted and smaller in size. And third observation, the same image formed on the outer surface of the stainless steel spoon is erect and larger. You can experience these three observations on your own at home also. This is known as the concave side and this is known as convex side. Okay, the inner surface where we are getting the inverted image, that is the concave side, and the outer surface where we are getting the erect image, the straight image, is the convex side. Okay, a spherical mirror is a smooth and polished curved surface like this. These are the mirror. Now if we'll draw the mirror, it should have this type of lines. It is a part of a hollow sphere. Now, as I told you, this is a mirror. That means I can form a sphere. So this is a part of a sphere. That is said, it's a part of a hollow sphere whose one side is made reflecting and the other side is opaque. Okay? Look at the figure here. This is concave mirror. This is convex mirror. Okay. Now let me read first. There are two types of spherical mirrors. One is concave mirror, another is convex mirror. A concave mirror is a spherical mirror which is made opaque from outside and the inside is polished. So, the light reflects from the inner side. Okay, and it is called spherical mirror. See the figure here. This is your inside is the reflecting surface. This is polished. And outside is the silver surface which I have shown with the lines. Okay, you can see here. There's the lines given as silver surface. So whenever you will draw a mirror, you have to draw the lines. Am I clear? Now you can see here, this is the reflecting surface. From there, the light ray is coming from here and it will get reflected from this side. Okay, a convex mirror, a spherical mirror which is made opaque from inside. See, the inside is silvered and the outer side is polished. See, this is the polished surface. So if the light ray is coming here, it will get reflected from this surface. Okay, and this is called convex mirror. Now some terms related to spherical mirror. Terms related to spherical mirror have been defined with respect to the adjacent figure. Aperture. These all are the new words that you are listening. So please see to it very carefully. Aperture. The surface of the spherical mirror which is exposed to light for reflection is called the aperture. The surface of the spherical mirror which is exposed to light for reflection. Suppose this is the mirror and this is the opaque side, this is the silver side. So this side, inner side, from here the light ray can come and it can reflect from here. So this is known as aperture, this side, which is exposed to light. Pole. The geometrical center of the spherical mirror is called the pole of the mirror. Geometrical center of the spherical mirror is called the pole of the mirror. It is also called vertex. The point P in the adjacent figure shows the pole. This is this one and this one. Suppose I am having this is a mirror that I have taken. I have taken this as a mirror. Let me just draw it once again here. If this is the mirror I have taken, then the geometrical center. Okay, so just let me show you. This is the geometrical center. This is known as pole and it is denoted by P. Okay, next is center of curvature. It is the center of the hollow sphere to which the mirror is a part. In the adjacent figure, it is a point C. This is this point and this point. Now, as I told you, suppose I am taking this as a mirror. This as a mirror. Okay. Now I have taken it from a sphere. Okay, from a sphere. Let me draw it once again. Let me just draw it once again. Suppose I have taken this as a sphere. Let me draw it in this side. Okay, so I have taken it from a sphere. It's a part of a sphere. So the center of the sphere is the center of the sphere, and this is denoted by C. This is known as center of curvature. Center of curvature is the center of the hollow sphere to which the mirror makes a part. This is the part of the mirror that I have taken. This part I have taken from the sphere. So the center of that hollow sphere is known as the center of curvature. Now radius of curvature. What is the radius of curvature? Radius of curvature, it is the radius of the hollow sphere. Radius of the hollow sphere of which the mirror is a part. It is denoted by R and equal to the distance PC in the adjacent diagram. Now from here, from P to C, so this is the radius and here this is the radius. Let me just show you here. See, suppose this is the center of the mirror. So this is the pole and this black C is the pole is given by P and C is the center of curvature. Now this distance PC, this distance PC is known as the radius of curvature. That means it is the radius of the hollow sphere also. So radius of the hollow sphere is also known as the radius of curvature. Okay. Next is principal axis. It is the straight line joining the pole and the center of curvature of the spherical mirror. Okay. So this full from here to here, this full, suppose it is X. So PX is the principal axis. It is the straight line joining the pole and the center of the curvature of the spherical mirror. PX shows the principal axis in the adjacent figure. Just see here. And this is a concave mirror and this is a convex mirror. In concave mirror, the inside part is the spheric reflecting side, and the convex mirror, the outside part is the reflecting side. Clear? Focus or focal point. It is the point on the principal axis at which parallel rays incident on the spherical surface after reflection either meet or appear to meet. The point F shown in the adjacent figure is the focus of the concave or convex mirror. See, this is F for the concave mirror and this is F for the convex mirror. These are the focus. Okay, now in case of concave mirror, F is real point, and in case of convex mirror, F is virtual point. Focus is always located at the middle of the radius of curvature. Now, so many new things, that is focus, focal point, real point, virtual point, all these I will explain in the next slide. Just wait. Now, focal length, the distance between the pole and the focus, F, is called the focal length. It is denoted by small f. If F be the focal length and R be the radius of curvature of the spherical mirror, R is given as radius of curvature, F is given as the focal length, then the relation is F is equals to R by 2. Okay, this relationship is true for both concave and convex mirror. You have to learn it. Now in the next slide, let me just explain to you how the focus is forming for a concave and convex mirror. Now see how to form the focus for a concave mirror first, and then I will show you the convex mirror. First, let me talk about concave mirror. It will give you a real point for the focus. Now, suppose this is my concave mirror. The inner side is reflecting surface. Now, this is the principal axis. This is pole. This is your center of curvature. Now, let us take the parallel beam of light coming from infinity. You can take n number of rays. I am taking 2, 3 and 4 rays. Now these rays, after reflection from here, it will pass through like this, suppose from this point. Okay, this will also pass through this point only. This will also pass through this point only. And this will also pass through this point only. See, all are meeting at a point here in the principal axis. This point is known as focus. And this C to P, what is this C to P? The distance CP is equals to radius of curvature. I told you already. Okay. Now F is in between that CP. So the relation is F is equals to R by 2. Just half. Okay. And all the rays after reflection, it is meeting at a particular point. Really meeting. So this is a real point. So for concave mirror, we are getting a real focus. Now suppose I am having, this is a convex mirror. The outer side is reflecting. Okay, this is a convex mirror. So this is my principal axis. Okay, this is P. Now ray of light, now this in this side it will be the C, center of curvature. Okay, center of curvature. Now this, let us take 4 rays because outer side is reflecting. So 4 parallel rays of light I have considered. Now these rays will go out like this, outside. Now this will also go outside. This will also go outside. This will also go outside. Now extend this line to the backward direction. This will also come here. This will also meet in this position. And this will also meet in this position. Now this is the position where they are meeting. This is your F. Now PC is equals to radius of curvature and F is the focus. Now F is in between R by 2. But here it is just the rays are going from these lines. Rays are going from these lines. Okay, they are reflecting. So we have extended the line in the backward direction. And because of that, they are actually not meeting. They are appeared to meet. So this is a virtual image, virtual point. Okay, this is known as the virtual. I think you have understood. Some rules for the image formation. The image formation by spherical mirror can be understood with the help of ray diagram, which is governed by certain rules. What are the rules? The first is to draw a ray diagram for convenience. At least 2 rays should be taken which originate from the same point of the object and whose route may be traced after reflection. I already told you that you can take n number of rays from an object. So at least 2 rays you have to take. The second point, the object for convenience should be taken on the left side of the reflecting surface. It's for our convenience only. And the third one, the object for convenience should be kept vertically upright. Okay, always take the object like this, vertically upright, so that it is perpendicular to the principal axis. And we are taking the principal axis like this. This is the mirror, suppose. Okay, so take the object on the left hand side for our convenience and take it on the upward side. Okay, vertically upright. For the formation of the image by the spherical mirror, some rules are followed for concave and convex mirror both. Let us see what are the rules. The first is the ray passing through the center of curvature falls on the reflecting surface normally and hence traced the path after reflection. I will explain all these in the next slides. Okay. For the convex mirror, the ray which appears to be passed through the center of curvature falls on the reflecting surface normally and hence traces the path after reflection. A ray parallel to the principal axis. A ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection from a concave mirror will pass through the focus. For convex mirror, a ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection from a convex mirror will diverge and appear to come from the focus. I will explain this in the next slide. Let us see what was the 2 rules said in the previous slide. The first one, it is said that suppose it is a concave mirror. This is the principal axis. Now if a ray of light is falling from your center of curvature, now it is making a 90 degree here. Now as it is making the 90 degree, it will just pass through this line only. Okay, now if it is a convex mirror, then what will happen? This is P, this is C, this is F. Now if a ray is coming from here, suppose, then it will move through this. Now if we'll extend it in the backward direction, it will pass to the center of curvature. The second rule, it is said that if it is a concave mirror, this is your principal focus, this is your center of curvature, this is your focus. If you are taking a ray of light coming parallel to the principal axis, it will pass through the focus. And for a concave mirror, if we'll take a ray of light coming parallel to the principal axis, it will just move in this way. Now if we'll extend this in the backward side, it will appear to meet at the focus. Clear? These two rules said in the previous slide. Now let us see what are the more rules. Now next rule is saying a ray of light passing through the focus. Suppose it is coming through the focus, after reflection from the concave mirror will travel parallel to the principal axis. And for the convex mirror, a ray of light which appears to pass through the focus, of the convex mirror after reflection will travel parallel to the principal axis. And the other one, a ray of light incident at the pole of the convex mirror will get reflected at the same angle with the principal axis as per the law of reflection. And for the convex mirror, a ray of light incident at the pole of the convex mirror will get reflected at the same angle with principal axis as per the law of reflection. I'm just explaining these two laws again in the next slide. Now what is the third rule said? Suppose this is the concave mirror. This is pole, this is center of curvature, this is focus. Now it is said that if a ray of light is coming through the focus, like this, it is entering through the focus, it will go parallel to the principal axis. Just children, please look at the arrows. It is going out through this line which is parallel to the principal axis. In case of the convex mirror, this is principal axis, pole, this is center of curvature, this is the focus. Now if a ray of light is appeared to come through the focus, it will pass parallel to the principal axis. If you can extend it, it is appeared to come from through the focus. Okay, the next rule is there's a concave mirror. Now in this concave mirror, this is pole, this is center of curvature, this is focus. Now suppose a ray of light is coming like this in the pole. Look at the arrow. It will go in this way only. making this angle and this angle same. This is angle of incident and this is angle of reflection, not refraction. This is angle of reflection. They are following this law, that is I is equals to R. Okay, and in case of the convex mirror, if a ray of light is suppose coming from here, it will go from here following the law, that is I is equals to R. That is angle of incidence and angle of reflection. Okay, am I clear? These are the rules for drawing the image through a spherical mirror. Real image and virtual image. The image formed by a spherical mirror may be real as well as virtual. Given below are the differences between real and virtual image. Let us see the difference between the real and the virtual image. The first one is a real image and this is the virtual image. The first point for this, when the light rays after reflection actually meet at a point, the image formed is called real image. But for virtual image, when the light rays after reflection do not actually meet but appear to meet at a point, on producing the rays in the backward direction, the image formed is called virtual image. Concave mirror is giving a real image and convex mirror is giving a virtual image. Okay. Next point is a real image is inverted, that is looks upside down. The real image is shown in this way. The arrow should be in the downward direction. But a virtual image is erect. Erect means straight. But virtual image is shown with the broken line like this. And the arrow should be in this direction, in the upward direction. Okay, this is for the real image and this is for virtual image. Third point, a real image can be obtained on a screen, but a virtual image cannot be obtained on a screen. The fourth point, image seen on a cinema screen, image produced by concave mirror and image produced by human eye are the example of real image. Image produced by plane mirror and image produced by convex mirror are the example of virtual image. This is an important slide. What is the difference between the real image and virtual image? I hope you have understood. Uses of concave mirror. Concave mirrors are used in reflecting type telescope. Used as reflector in searchlights, projectors, automobile headlights. Used in shaving mirror. Okay. Used by dentist to see a larger image of the teeth. These are also used in ENT examination. Okay. Used in reflecting type solar cooker. You have to learn it. Uses of concave mirror. See, uses of convex mirror. Convex mirror are used as rear view mirror in vehicle as they produce an erect and diminished image of the traffic behind. We can see now from the mirror of the car the image of the vehicle, but they are diminished. Diminished means small in size, smaller in size, but erect, straight. used as street light reflector because they diverge light rays over a wide area. That is why in the street light also we are using street light reflector, also we are using convex mirror, and used as vigilance mirror in departmental store. Now along with this chapter light ends here. Please go through the videos properly and try to understand the content.